All right, here we are, video 2. So now, I've done a bunch of YouTube videos, and typically when I do a video, it's here's my ingredients, here's how we're gonna cook it, go to the stove and cook it up. Being that I have a professional photographer now and a professional videographer, we're gonna do something that takes all night. So right now, we're gonna prep this, and I'm gonna walk you through everything that I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna walk you through the cut of meat. We're gonna put it onto the smoker, and we're gonna do a whole 16-hour thing here and show you what a smoked pork butt looks like in Gilbert, Arizona. So, smoked pork butt. Everyone goes in, pulled pork, smoked meats.
I make the best pork butt. This is the best pork butt.
Right? Okay. Who's got the best one? I don't know. I love the way that I do it. I'm gonna teach you how to do it. Okay, so here's what you got here. A lot of people get intimidated by this. This is what's called a pork butt. This is a bone out pork butt. The traditionalists that watch this video are gonna say, I only coat my pork butts with the bone in. I do that too. It just so happens that I have a boneless one here because I bought an entire case of boneless ones to grind them into sausage. I flipped the script a little bit. I'm gonna do it as pulled pork. So here's what it looks like. You have a fat cap on this side. Okay, so this is the fat cap. And then on this side, you can still see some fat, but this is what we're gonna call the meat side. Now, let me show you this little gap right here. See that gap right there that we pull up? That gap right there is normally where that shoulder blade bone would go in, and it would sit just like this. And then what would happen was, when you're done smoking this, you'd be able to slide that bone right out, just like that. Just like my hand came out, you'd be able to slide that bone out. We skipped that process. They cut the bone right out of here, so now we just have a boneless pork butt. So now I have to be very careful when I put it on. I don't want it to lay flat like this. I don't want it to lay open like this. I want it to lay nice and tight like this, because we're gonna cook this thing for, what time is it right now? 10 o'clock Arizona time. I'm gonna check it at 8 a.m. and we're probably gonna pull it off at around 11 a.m. at 2:25. We're gonna be going more than 12 hours on this guy. So, I gotta make sure that everything stays together. If you get this little piece that comes out there, that piece is gonna cook a lot faster. So if you get a boneless pork butt, make sure that you tuck everything in like this, okay? Bone in pork butt, you don't have to do anything. It's just a big one butt like this. You could do whatever you want with it. So, let me show you how I prep my pork butt. Here's what I do. It's out on the, so I dried it off with some paper towels, so you can see there's no blood, there's nothing on it. I leave this fat on. I want this fat to just drip all the way through the meat as I cook it. When I say I cook it, as the smoker cooks it, I want that fat to just drip everything all over it. A lot of people will take a knife and skim some of this off. I don't do that. Pick what you want to do. There's no right answer, but here's what I do. Get a big ass bowl. Throw that pork butt right in here. Once you get your butt in this big ass bowl, get your spice rub together. You want a sugar-based spice? Rub on this. People are, oh, sugar, sugar, sugar. No, on pork butt, you want sugar. Brown sugar, you could do cane sugar, you could do white sugar. You want the crust, you want the bark, you want that thing to look just drippy and crusty on the outside and moist on the inside. So what I put in mine, brown sugar, garlic, salt, pepper, chili powder, paprika. There's no right answer here. Google pork butt seasonings. You could make it right in your house. It's not that hard. People on these barbecue shows, they're always talking about, that's great. It's not that hard, right? Put some sugar in it, put some salt in it, put some pepper in it, put something in there that gives you a little distinguisher like garlic or onion powder or something like that, and just rub this thing up. So I put enough in here to where I know I'm going to use it all, so I'm going to use the glove that I was touching the pork with, but we're just going to just dump this in here. Let me make sure that you can see this. So there she is, look at that. Look at how nice that looks. All right, so now all we do is, I got the smoker ready. I'm going to show you the Yoder smoker. We're going to tag them on this post so that they can see what we're doing. I'm gonna show you how to set it and forget it on the Yoder. Okay, so here we are, Yoder smoker. Tanner, come on in here and see what we got going on here. See my glove that's got all the seasoning on it? I'm not gonna touch my smoker. So right here, you can see, this is a pellet smoker. Set at 225, right now it's at 209. So what it's doing is, it's feeding all of these pellets down into a little hopper. That hopper's got a little ceramic thing that gets real hot that lights all of the pellets and it brings all of the smoke through. The smoke comes in, it comes out this flue here, okay? What I do to prep this is, I put a couple little seasoned trays down here that can catch all of the fat from this pork butt, so that it keeps the grill a little bit cleaner than it normally would be. But as you can see, if you can, I don't know, it's a little bit dark out here, but you can see like my grates, I don't clean my grates. That's all seasoning on the grates. I want to keep it just like that. So the best thing about this smoker, and again, I mentioned the traditionalists inside. The traditionalists are gonna say, this ain't smoking, you're not doing it the right way, you get to go to bed, you don't have to mess with wood, you're not, you're not burning sticks. Okay, I get it. We're busy. Even though we have COVID and we gotta stay inside, we work, our kids have sports, we're out and about, we're running errands, we're doing everything. This is the businessman smoker, the Yoder YS640S, the best investment that I've ever made in my life. I put this thing on here, it regulates the temperature, I wake up in the morning, it's almost done, it's almost foolproof. Anyone can smoke on a pellet smoker. I don't care if it's a Yoder, a Trader, a Green Mountain Grill. There's a lot of different pellet smokers on the market. So all I do, one decision you have to make. Are you a fat side up or a fat side down? I'm a fat side up. So here's what I do. Right out of this, I make sure we get nice and tight, fat side up, right in the middle of the smoker. I got my trays right under there. I got the smoke coming up. I take my gloves off. For my mom, I put a little cross right in the middle. We'll see you in the morning. This guy, it's 10 o'clock at night. It's gonna regulate its own temperature all night. I don't have to do anything. I can wake up and look at it on my app. I'll see you guys at 8 o'clock in the morning to see what it looks like. All right, so I checked, I don't have my headband on. Oh my, it's the first time I've ever not had a headband on, but we're gonna go with it. You should superimpose like a headband on me or something. I don't know if that's possible, but that would be a funny meme, I think. All right, so I checked it at like 7:45, 8 o'clock this morning. It was like 160 degrees internal. I'm hoping that it's between somewhere 165 and 175 right now, because then I'm gonna take it off. We're gonna go inside, I'm gonna teach you how to wrap it in the pink butcher paper. So, this is like my most favorite thing to do is check it out. It's been a couple more hours since I saw it, but I want everyone to see what it looks like. I had to put some more pellets in there this morning, so let's take a look. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So see our grease traps down here? Let me get this out so I can have a pointer. Our grease traps down here, catching all that fat, keep the grill a little bit cleaner. It also keeps some moisture in there. And then we got, it should have a little comeback to it. That's nice, right there. Oh yeah, a little jiggly, that's what we're looking for. Nice crust formation, so now let's do this. And let's see what temp we got. We're looking for 165 to 175, 47, 52. Let's go. It's gonna be right at 165. Look at this, look at this. We didn't even plan this, Tanner. God, right at 165. Unbelievable. Sorry, 166. But that's my strike point. So why is that my strike point? I'm of the mindset that once you get to there, I've done enough on barbecue blogs and reading articles and watching videos and being on YouTube. I'm convinced, and whether you are or aren't, there's no right answer, I believe, but I'm convinced that once you get to 165 to 175 degrees, this thing stops taking smoke and it starts to dry out. So what I do is I take it off of this smoker, okay, which I'll do right now, and get one of these, like real thick, like real sturdy stainless steel. A lot of people are gonna come in here with their hands. This thing will burn your hands off if you tried it right now, even with gloves on. So I just start to try to pry it off. Some of it's gonna get left on the grill, but that's okay. I try to pry it off and then just get this under. Actually, that worked out really, really well. See this right here? That's called seasoning. Leave that. So I'm gonna leave this on. I'm gonna leave it at 220. I'm actually gonna bump the temperature up a little bit, but I leave that on there. Let that cook into the grates. When you have a grill, everyone's like trying to scrub the grates or whatever. It's like you're just exposing the steel. Don't expose the steel. Let it season itself. This is the way that the grill learns, and this is the flavor that comes into it. If I ran my finger on the outside of the, look at, here, watch, I'll do it right now. You can see this is nice and sheen. Watch. See that mark that it leaves? This grill is getting seasoned. It's getting layers and layers of seasoning. Don't clean that. All right, so we'll stop it right here. We'll go inside and I'll teach you how to wrap this thing in a pink butcher paper. Quick wrapping lesson. I left this out. Usually I would have normally put this away. Check that out. Look at how thick that is. Looks like an old tree. This is pink butcher paper. It's different than the regular white butcher paper that you get in the stores or that your meat comes wrapped in when you buy a steak at the deli. That one has wax on it, okay? Pink butcher paper has no wax on it. It's just paper. But I don't know what it is about this little thin paper. The grease creates like a little convection oven in there, and wait till you see it tonight. It's gonna look amazing. I know that it is because I've done it a million times. It's gonna look really good. I don't know why it does that. I don't know the science behind it, but it just does. So here's how I do it. I take 2 equal length pieces. Now, if we were to just do this in one piece, we could like figure it out, but last night I kind of did this. All right, my pork butt is this wide. If I went here, it's gonna be hard to really get it full encapsulated, so I went with a double layer. So just kind of, I think I put it over 10 to 12 inches. So it's like you're layering this so that when I go to wrap it up, it sticks together. Okay, so here's how I do it. Now this is gonna be like super hot, and you gotta kind of do it quick, but you gotta be careful. It's not gonna fall apart because it's only 165 degrees. It falls apart once you get over 200 degrees. Here we go. Okay, now, the first question that you should ask yourself, I gotta take a little bit of that bark off for me. The first question that you should ask yourself is, why did you put it so far up? Okay, here's why I put it so far up. Because I like to start my wrap here. Okay, take your time. You do not have to rush this, okay? Now, holding this paper in place here, grab under and make sure you tuck it nice and tight. Once you are one full time over, okay, get this, flatten that out a little bit. Now here, I just come up here, just like you're wrapping a burrito. You wrap a breakfast burrito, a carne asada burrito, just like that. Now, both sides, keep it tight, and over, just like that. Okay, so now what I do is, I keep my thermometer out there, I bump it up to 275. Remember, we are 225, now we're at 275. I bump it up to 275. When this guy reaches 200 degrees, we pull him off. When we pull him off, I wrap it in the big saran wrap. So when you go to Sam's Club or Costco, they got this saran wrap, and you go, whoever buys that saran wrap, I buy that saran wrap. Why do I buy that saran wrap? Because then I saran wrap it once it gets to 200 degrees, and I put it into a cooler. Okay, so then later on tonight, when you see this, it's gonna come out in saran wrap. See that little grease spot right there? That's gonna be all over here. We're gonna cut that saran wrap, and it's just gonna be like a little epiphany. It's gonna be like a little, the angels are coming out, and God's tears are just dripping everywhere, and that's how great it's gonna look, and that's how great it's gonna be. So this goes back onto the smoker till 200 degrees. We pull it and wrap it, and see you back here for dinner. All right, we're picking up where we left off. So we showed you the wrap. We wrapped it up tight. Got it to 200 degrees on the pellet smoker, the Yoder pellet smoker, the YS640S, and got it to 200 degrees. Brought it inside, wrapped it in saran wrap, and then what you do is, and you'll see how much saran wrap is on there, then what you do is, you put it in a cooler, and people are gonna go, what? You put it in a cooler? Yes, you put it in a cooler. If we had heat-o-vision or smell-o-vision, or both, any combination of those two, you would see this in here, this insulated cooler, Kept this thing hot. I put it in here at noon. It's, what is it, 4:40? It's 4:40. Here we go. Okay, so if you remember in the first one, I said this is gonna look very moist. Remember when it was pink? It's not pink anymore. It's like maroon, okay? That's all the fat. Then it steams itself. I got a lot of this saran wrap on there. So it's just been in there getting happy for several hours. What did I say, noon? 1, 2, 3, 4. And this thing is hot like it just came off the grill. So then I just take my knife here, start to kind of work it open a little bit. You could try to unwrap this, it'd be a nightmare, so I just cut through it. All right, look at that, that butcher paper is just soaked from the session. Look, it's even pooling up on the butcher paper. See right there, it's like pooling up. That's a good sign. That means this thing has just been sitting in here getting delicious by the minute. Ooh. It's like, I don't know, can you see the steam with that camera? Look at this steam right here. It's like if I move it out of the way, the steam's coming out of there. The thing's been sitting there for 3.5 hours. Okay, so let's get this further off. Oh yeah. Okay. Here's the test. The test is, can you just grab a piece of it and just have it come off just like that? I mean, if I didn't have a black glove on, if I had a white glove it'd be better, but that contrast, I mean, look at the bark on that. Just juicy, pull apart. Okay. Wow. That's really good. So, if you got one of these pellet grills, it's not hard. You just got to put a little preparation into it. Make sure you take the right steps. Go back. Okay, wait. They prepped it, then put it on at 10 o'clock at 225? Yes. Okay. Then he checked it at 8 o'clock? Okay. Yes. Wrapped it when it was 165 to 175? Yes. Took it off when it was 200 degrees, wrapped it in the saran wrap and put it in here for 3.5 hours? Yes. And this is what happens. Now watch, we'll do a little bit. I gotta eat this one. That's how I do pork butt. From point A all the way to Z, everything in between. I think the next one I'm gonna do, I started a collaboration with a sauce company. I'm gonna start experimenting with some of these sauces and let's see where we can go with that. For this one, the family table, smoked pork butt, delicious, the end.